Hmm. What's going on, guys? Apparently, the start time was 4, but that's not right because I put 1 o'clock. So, not sure what the mix up is there with that. But it seems like a lot of people are probably not going to show up right away because of that. But I did tweet out 1 o'clock. So, we'll give people some time to get in here and make their way to the stream. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Excuse me. So yeah, a little technical mix up there with the StreamYard thingy here. Um, but hey, it is what it is. All good. Just give people time to show up, and we'll see how it goes from there. um, yeah. So, I'm not sure if any of you guys actually keep up with real crypto happenings, but it's over. It's over. It ended yesterday. Whatever you thought was going on is no longer going on. And things have escalated to another level of not fun. Not fun at all. So, that means is that you are now going to be forced to always KYC, always do all the things that they want you to do for no reason. I mean, eventually you're going to have to KYC just to do anything because that's what CBDCs are all about. And, everybody wants again to chase fake money. And that's going to be the downfall of all because everybody is continuously making this deal with the devil and they don't understand that that's what they're doing. This is why nothing works out ever for anybody because you always work against yourself. And the world is set up that way to show you that working against yourself is the way. That's why pop culture is the culture, right? There is no culture in America. Pop culture is the culture of America. That's the whole reason behind America. So all this, black that, all that shit is bullshit. That's not what America is supposed to be. And as far as the end goal of America, right? All the people talking all the things don't have any historical perspective at all with whatever they're talking about 99.99% of the time. So, people that think of a 1950s America, they don't actually know what the fuck they're thinking because that's the shit they only seen on TV. Unless they were there, they don't really know what was 1950s America. So, you know, gotta be very careful regarding what you think you know because the future is here. It's no longer the future. It is the present. And in the present, you have to come with skills to the table. The days of relying on third parties and, you know, just having it be a quick transaction are over. The days of you having customer service and all that is over because you accept less. So you're going to get less. It's very simple. Everything that's happening today is a function of what everyone allows to happen because they are concerned with all the things that don't matter, such as racism and all the other things that are a function of the system and how it uses information to control people. People will let their enemy get away with murdering their family every day as long as they feel good doing it. That's the reality of the game that we're in called life. This is why, no matter what, we're gonna have CBDCs. We already have them. What's gonna happen is that dual economy is gonna erupt because that's what it's gonna be. Because why the fuck would it not be that? Black markets are the standard of the world. So a black economy is about to become the thing of the future because everybody's apathetic to what's going on and they think that people are just going to stop doing evil shit because we know they're doing evil shit when there's clearly no consequences because everybody's cool with just tweeting about it. So, everybody wants to pretend that they can use the system to defeat the system. And that is clearly the stupidest shit in history because what you're doing is you're giving the fucking enemy all your information willingly on paper, specifically stating what your mission is. Doesn't sound smart to me. So, like I've always said, that's a fool's errand, and it continues to be one because what ends up happening is that they're able to use their corrupt courts to dishevel anything that's to your benefit. And that's exactly how the system works. Nobody can state or prove otherwise. Crypto was the last bastion of approach that people had to establish any kind of autonomy. Now that's entirely gone. Entirely gone. Let's see. Where is that tweet? Doo-doo. I mean, this shit is crazy. And I mean, the comments are even crazier because it just shows the level of ignorance that permeates in this fucking space. It's the same reason I left in 2017 or 18. I mean, nothing's changed. People are fucking retarded. And I just didn't understand what I saw in 2017, 2018. After going through 2021 and all that, I fully well understand because I've thought through what the fuck I witnessed. I didn't just act like it didn't happen like the first time. So apparently last night at 2:14 or whenever this news broke, I'm sure it wasn't really last night. It's probably like 5 o'clock Friday. That's usually when news like this drops. Uh, Became public information that these institutions are now banks. Now, Fidelity is a brokerage, not a bank, but it has 5 trillion or something in assets. So, okay, I guess we can operate like a bank now. I don't know. It has no branches. It has none of that. It's not. I don't know what kind of bank it's going to be allowed to be. Federal trust charters. Yeah, it's not really saying much. It's just a generic term for bank or being able to do whatever you want with money. As far as money movement and custodying of assets and shit like that, it means that they can play in the Fed system, basically. So, all right, how does this system even work? Um, you got to understand that the money's fake. So, what that means is if the money's fake, then it could just come out of thin air because there is nothing that determines its existence. So if you're a bank and you're trying to provide services to consumers, that means lending for the most part. Because if you're a bank, you really don't do shit else. You take in people's deposits and lend them out at a cost, right? At a premium. And whatever other money related services you might offer, money movement, return on money, things like that. So that means that you are now beholden to those that issue, control, audit, count the money, i.e., the Federal Reserve Board system, which if you're not new to reality, you already know it's just a private institution that's owned by people, and they do what they want because people are too stupid to understand that a dollar is not worth a dollar because they don't even know what a dollar is. And yeah, I might call people stupid all the time, but at this point in 2025, you got to realize that people are stupid by choice. Because I wasn't born this way. I decided to wake the fuck up because shit wasn't adding up. A lot of people know shit ain't adding up and they don't give a fuck. They just quit and say hell with it. So yeah, people that choose to be stupid, they ain't getting no fucking love from me. That's their fucking problem. And if you're an adult in 2020, goddamn five, and you can't see what's going on yet, then you're part of the problem. You might as well be a fucking Jew. You're no different. What's the difference? Right? It's just like people love to say how black and Hispanic people would be perceived differently if they held each other accountable for each other's actions. But yeah, well, you should think about taking your own fucking advice. How about them apples? Right? And I don't really give a fuck about none of that race shit, but it's just a simple matter of the fact. Because there's things that people say. I've heard it before, not the first time I hear it. So it's all the same in many ways. So, what does this hold for the future? Well, I don't know if you guys do anything on the internet, but it's kind of like what I said earlier. You are KYC'd at every step. There is not a single point in this crypto system that I've come across nowadays that's readily available and easily accessible to normies and does not KYC the fuck out of people. And the funny thing is that they'll state no KYC, but what's the first thing that they do in order for you to actually complete that transaction? KYC. So there isn't a single edifice, a single facet, a single portal, a single point in which you can buy crypto with cash, and these motherfuckers don't know about it. And here we are. Yesterday, Friday afternoon, U.S. regulator OCC approves federal trust charters for major crypto firms. Now, if you're a student of cryptocurrency and understand what this game is about, then you know there is no such thing as a crypto motherfucking firm. It's completely antithetical to what the technology is. And in case you're new, let me help you out. Because people just are very illiterate and don't like to read and then pretend that they know stuff. So let me show you exactly what I mean when I say that crypto firm is antithetical to crypto. because it is. It's not really an opinion. It's what it is by definition. Come on, man. Adobe is the gayest fucking company in the world. They're definitely up there with Microsoft. They're up there with Microsoft and Google, and that's saying a whole lot. Cause you gotta do a whole lot to be that fucked up. All right, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin peer to peer. This is a Bitcoin white paper for those that might not know. So, what is a cryptocurrency system? A purely peer to peer version of electronic cash. Tell me where the fuck it says crypto firm anywhere in there that would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. These all look like financial institutions to me now. Now let's see what the comments have to say. Well, this is me. You already know what I think, so it's irrelevant. The important part here, and let's see what this dumbass ass. I already know there's gonna be a dumbass fucking tweet. The important part here isn't just OCC approves crypto firms. A national trust bank charter puts these companies under federal banking supervision. It lets them run regulated custody and trust services at an institutional level, as if that's helping somebody the fuck out. I don't know what this faggot's trying to say, but he ain't saying shit. And that's pretty fucking obvious. Let's keep reading. That's what allows stable coins, tokenized assets, and on chain finance to plug directly into the US banking system. So somehow that's supposed to be a good thing. I don't know where this is supposed to be a good thing, but I'm here to tell you it's not. So this quietly defines who can operate at a serious scale in crypto infrastructure moving forward. So, what does this mean as of right now? As of right now, it means that these institutions, wow, you already know who owns this account. Some fucking Jew, obviously. So, Ripple, Circle. If you don't know what they are, get in tune with them. Because it's like I told you guys all along, just Trojan horses. They're not here to add any value to the crypto game. And you must be aware by now that there no longer is a crypto game. It's just what's true. You don't gotta like it, but it is what it is. Dumbass number one. Well, actually, number two. So I'm going to show you the little profile of all these clowns with their positive comments behind the news so you can understand that this shit is all fake and made up. All these people are going to have a high follower count. All of them are going to be saying the same thing. They're all going to have the same type of profile. They're all going to be having the same fucking everything. It's not an echo chamber. You got to know the difference between an echo chamber and a bot farm. You know, Bitcoin world and crypto world in general is mostly bot farms because it's the stupidest market. It's the market with the lowest level IQ people in the world because they're just chasing money. They're not chasing logic. They're not trying to do what's monetarily right. That was the original group of people. Dumb motherfuckers is long gone. Very few of us remain. And I'm including myself in that group because I'm one of them motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck about your shit coin. I could have dropped 100 coins by now and scammed a billion people. I don't give a fuck about doing that. So clearly, whatever you might be thinking about that is not relevant because that is the crypto space. And only now in 2025 am I seeing the public waking up to that, which is fucking crazy because it's been apparent for 10 years at least. I mean, and this whole notion of companies and firms and all this faggot shit perpetuates the ability for people to get scammed because people are not properly educated in the realities of crypto. They're not. You're not supposed to be able to go somewhere, click fucking deploy, and boom, a billion fucking shit coins exist. That's the dumbest fucking thing ever. But yet, that is exactly what crypto is. So, you have faggots like this that claim Bitcoins are only crypto. And then you got faggots on the other side pretending that a billion cryptos is the way forward. Nobody thought there was a problem with either. And then on top of that, you got motherfuckers begging for stable coins to be in the mix as if that is the point of all of this. That's not the point of all of this. We already got digital cash. We don't need digital dollars. We already got that. So why are you asking for it? I don't understand it. But guess what? Now you fucking got it. Federal trust charters let these firms offer banking services under OCC oversight, shifting crypto's regulatory landscape. I mean, you know why. I've explained before that I work for the banking system. So what that means is I know exactly how banks work. Now let me explain something to you. Banks work like this. One day they exist. They start out with no money. They continue until their death with no money. Their sole objective is to facilitate the dealing of the crack, which is the money that you think is money, that you earn income in, but is not money because it's worth zero. It's worth less than the paper is printed on. The paper itself is worth more than what you see on those reserve notes. Fact, not opinion. Crypto just graduated from rebel to regulated big league. Yeah, smart guy, that one, huh? Regulatory green lights turn infrastructure into markets. Apparently, we built for this moment. I wasn't aware of that. I was not aware of that. I mean, here's a crypto ad. Remember, at one point in time, these ads were banned. You would not be allowed to see a crypto ad anywhere on the internet. On the internet, a place that at one point was free for all to post whatever information they deemed worthy of posting. Now you just get a bunch of filth and a bunch of misinformation that's going to fuck you over. Let's continue. Apparently, you can be bullish circle, and I'm guessing that's the stock because you can't be bullish something that just stays at one. So we'll keep on moving. Yep, yep, yeah. Obviously, this was coming. Sure. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, you know, it's just all I'm saying is that the market is full of people that have no grasp on what the fuck crypto even is, why it exists, or anything. I mean, and this is proof positive right here. All it takes is just for you to see the replies to this one tweet. People don't understand. I mean, look at this dumbass. Less freeze, more flow. Talk about lost. And people will learn these things the hard way. I mean, the ignorance of the human spirit, of the human mind, it cannot be beat. I mean, the level of comfort that a person feels is in feeling this false illusion of safety is crazy because there's no such thing. In my lifetime, all I've seen is societal degradation on the premise of this promise of safety and inclusion and democracy and uh, the greater good and all these communistic sayings, because they're all communistic. None of them espouse freedom. We don't have a capitalistic society. So every time I hear somebody say that, we don't even need capitalism, right? Just the term alone is anti-capitalist because it's saying that this thing we call society is dictated by certain rules and not by morality and logic, which is the fucking problem. People got shot for being fucking stupid, it'd be a different world. You wouldn't have criminals, you wouldn't have thieves, you wouldn't have half the things we have because motherfuckers would think twice before acting because there would be consequences to fucking negative action, but there is none. We live in a world where people think fake money is good and fake personalities are good and real is bad. So, you know, I, this has been ongoing for a while. It's going to continue to happen. This is just the first step in the total destruction of whatever little freedoms you have. People are fucking stupid. And that is going to be what literally destroys everybody. Everybody's asking for it. So they're going to get it. There's this saying that I was taught in the military that sounds very trite, very trivial, but it's how it works. If you ask for it, you might just get it. And everybody's asking for it. Everybody's asking for it. But yet nobody knows what they're asking for. I don't I don't know. You can't help people that are too ignorant because they don't know that they're ignorant. So in reality, you just gotta let people drown. I spent a long time trying to help people understand why everything else besides certain aspects of crypto information is bad for your health. All I got back was vitriol and hate. So all that made me realize is that you gotta just let people drown. I mean, I kind of knew that, but it's one thing to come with evidence and logic and all of these things that are irrefutable. I'm not sharing my opinion ever. Unless I'm talking about what I think is going to happen with the direction of a market, I'm not talking with an opinion. I'm giving you verified, verifiable facts. Not my opinion. So, reality is people don't like that shit. People like to think that their opinion matters. And I'm not open to that. Because guess what? I thought my opinion mattered all this time right here. I thought my opinion mattered because I thought the market should go lower. I mean, this was 2,000 point NASDAQ, 4,000, 5,000 point NASDAQ. I'm sorry, homettes. Your little gay ass opinions don't fucking matter. End of fucking story. I remember when I first started streaming, and I tell this fucking story all the time because it's just really a perfect descriptor of society right now and why it's not going anywhere and why you, the individual, cannot rely on your neighbor. And hey, I don't know your neighbor. You might can rely on 'em. But what I'm telling you is that should not be your first line of defense. That's what I'm telling you. Because all you're doing in that case is playing yourself in a major way. Because this is what an opinion gets you. Short 2,000 with price at 25,000. 26 really. So that's a what? 10, 12x loss on an opinion. That's what opinions get you. So you got to understand experience dictates reality is what reality is, not what you want it to be. That's why Vietnam happened. That's why Iraq happened. That's why all these fucking wars that keep sending these kids into keep happening. Because motherfuckers want to pretend shit ain't happening when in fact it fucking is. So just like this market has been sent 12x into the sky, your net worth in real terms has been reduced by 12x. Because that's what this means right here. And people don't get that. Fuck getting people to understand that. That shit's never going to happen. Until motherfucking shit goes to zero and they just can't buy nothing because it's all worth zero, people just are not going to get it. So I'm done trying to explain that shit. People just cannot do basic math, and that's ultimately going to be the downfall of society. All the goals that the enemy set out to destroy, all the goals that the enemy has set out to use to destroy the population have in fact worked well, because the population is just being used against itself. In other words, human nature is used against humans. This is why shiny new things are always promoted, not things of elegance and quality, but shiny and new. People are happy paying, fucking $20,000 for a fucking bag. Never mind the fact that they can afford it. Never mind that, because that's not the point I'm making here. The point I'm making is the logic behind the purchase. It's not about collecting, because all right, yeah, cool, you like collecting shit, fine, whatever. But I'm talking about the utility behind the purchase. Do you really need 50 fucking bags? Do you really need 50 fucking sneakers? Do you really need 50 fucking boots? All these things that we espouse as success are not success. They're not. Plain and simple. And, let's get the index up here instead, because it just looks better. All right. So I've explained this before. Um, Indexing is when the starting point is 100, right? So for whatever reason in this data set, the low is 6% above the starting point. I don't know why, but that's what it is. Okay, stick with me here. Since 1986, okay, since 1986, 1985, whatever, the stock market has gone up 2,600 times. Let me see here. 26,000 divided by 100. Yeah, 260 times. So just in the past 30 years, all right, 40 years, the stock market has gone up in value 260 X from where it started, from 1985 to today. What does that tell you? Has your wealth increased 260 times? Has your house value increased 260 times? Has your car increased in value 260 times? What has increased in value that much? Well, healthcare costs, uh, insurance costs, uh, cost of education, cost of living, all the things that you got to come out of pocket for. None of the things that go into your pocket, though. Isn't that funny? This is what we call society. This is what we accept as life. And only a few people are in charge of it. And we accept it as a mass group of individuals. I don't. I bitch and moan and complain every day. And I point out what everybody chooses to ignore. The solution is simple: you doing your own work. But nobody wants to actually do that. That's the workaround to everything. That's a solution to everything. That's how you take away power from the enemy, by not relying on them for anything. But the world is set up in such a way where everyone wants to rely on the enemy for everything and then pretend that that's not what they're doing. Pretend that they're men, pretend that they're women, pretend that they're adults, that they're standing on something, that they got spines, that they're not pieces of shit, when in fact you clearly are a piece of shit. You don't give a fuck about yourself. You don't give a fuck about your family. You definitely don't give a fuck about your kids if you got kids. You don't give a fuck about the future. You're just a selfish fucking prick that only gives a fuck about chasing some fake ass shit that don't even mean anything. Because you're too short sighted and too ignorant and too naive to fucking know better. This is what this 260X reflects. Because the stock market is mentioned every day to everybody, everywhere across the world, whether they understand it or not. So the fact that nobody notices or cares to notice that they're being robbed daily is a personal choice. It's not a communal choice, it's a personal choice. And that personal choice that everybody makes it a communal effect, meaning everybody gets robbed because everybody's subject to the same system and nobody can opt out unless they know how to opt out. So here's my suggestion to those viewers that might be watching this now or later. Learn how to code, learn how to use AI, learn how to have all your systems locally on your machine, not connected to third party servers. Learn how to become an engineer, learn how to live off the land, learn how to be an individual human with skills that befit your existence, your person. Find out who you are. Because in the world that we're about to move into, you're not even gonna have the opportunity to do that. Because you're not gonna have access to anything. You're gonna have to KYC just to go on a fucking link. You think I'm fucking playing, but ask tell me how wrong I've been about anything over the past 5 years, other than the group at large, because what people don't realize is that price predictions are dependent on the masses doing what's best in their best interest. And what people don't understand in this specific market, because you've got the lowest level retards in the crypto space, is that they are the lowest level retards in all markets. Thus, this is just a place where people like CZ and them can come and just kick your ass and get away with it. because they're never going to get in trouble. They're scammers, just like the people that just approved Ripple. What's the other one? Circle and Fidelity to be institutional level crypto service providers. Those people are scammers too. You got to understand, I work for the banking system, and I know full and well how they operate. And I'm telling you, this is not an opinion. You're opting in to getting scammed every day. You might as well go outside and let a homeless motherfucker pick your pockets every time you walk outside, because it's no fucking different. You're working for somebody else. You're not even working for yourself. And for some fucking odd reason, that shit is acceptable in this fucking society. It's called noble. It's called something to be proud of. It's called all these fucking things that ain't so. There's nothing more superior than working for yourself, because all your value, all your effort, all your sweat, all your blood is returned right back to you. That was taken away from everybody without motherfuckers even blinking an eye. So, again, this is not anything positive, because it shouldn't even exist. And that is hard for people to wrap their heads around, because people don't know how to think about these things. These things are just thrown at us every day as if they're supposed to exist. But markets as we know them are new. They're not thousands of years old, especially not in the way that we see them today. It's new. I've never known a market in history where you buy something and you don't own it. So for anybody that wants to get smart in the fucking chat, you can suck a dick. And I mean comments after the stream. Because I already know somebody gonna be like, well, what about the Japanese traders in the 15, 16, da da da, blah blah blah. Yeah, all right, bro. Well, you clearly aren't paying attention to what the fuck is really going on if you come to me with some comment like that, because that doesn't apply here. These markets as they stand are illegal. They are in breach of fiduciary responsibilities. And it persists because everybody's too dumb, blind, and stupid to know better or otherwise. So it will continue. And the only thing that will benefit anybody is education. So if you don't actually know what the rules are that are supposed to be followed, then you will get violated. And there will be nothing you can do about it except smile and nod your head. Because that's what this picture that you're staring at on the screen means. This is total societal domination. Even if you was holding the stocks, let's say you held a basket of 100 stocks and they did this, you go on ahead and cash out. Let me know how much of that cash you keep. Because again, you don't own anything in this life, in this scam we call a society. You don't. You rent and you pay a fee. If you produce something, you pay. If you consume something, you pay. What's the point of living, some might say. And this is what people choose to ignore. It's those things. I mean, let's just go through. Yeah, I think we can just go through all of these here. We don't even gotta click on none of that. So let's start with this Kobisi letter. It's good just to know what the normies are thinking. As of 20 minutes ago, trade deficit numbers, shit that doesn't actually matter. And let me tell you why our trade deficit numbers don't matter. At the bottom of every financial problem is the money problem. So if that problem is not addressed first and foremost, then it doesn't matter what the trade deficit is, what the inflation is, whether the inflation is hot or cold, or blah 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 blah. All those little narratives they like to throw in there that sound like they know what they're talking about on TV. They don't. They just saying what sounds good because motherfuckers don't know shit, and that's easy. I remember when I didn't know anything, all that shit sounded good because what the fuck do I know, right? I knew nothing until I decided to learn. So, you know, you got crap like this happening. Silver's at about $80. Not sure if you're aware. Gold is like 4,500 an ounce. So not sure if you guys are aware. But there is your altcoin season. I told you guys there was not going to be a crypto bull run. Blah blah blah. Cause it's like I told you guys years ago. There is no new money coming into this market. It's just the same circle jerk. Motherfuckers scamming the same people and the same people letting themselves get scammed over and over and over because they like getting scammed. There's literally no other reason. Because you can learn the ropes, you can learn how to do things the right way and make money, but nah, people would rather just be lazy. So they get scammed instead. Pretty simple, uh, uh, action and result, right? So that's just how that goes. U.S. consumer confidence. This you got to realize that this is all fake, right? Like this data is all fake. How can there be any U.S. consumer confidence whatsoever? How? When the employment population decreases year after year. I don't. You got to be special ed to believe any of this data is valid. Silver again. Elon Musk is just another poser, blah, blah, blah. See here, what is this gay ass talking about? This is not good. Silver is needed in many industrial processes. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Welcome to fucking the 15th century. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a fuck? Moving on. Uh-huh. Yeah, people waking up to the fact that shit's fucked. Good for y'all. Good for y'all. All right, that's enough of that trash. Some gay guy blasts another gay guy from the UK where free speech no longer exists unless you're putting on a show for those motherfuckers on TV to believe that Jimmy Kimmel and Donald Trump are not friends, which is cool. Broad AI positioning by hedge funds, less crowded than perceived. So let's talk about AI. AI is just the latest version of crypto. People are getting scams for not knowing anything. And I've talked about this a little bit before. Hell, at one point, I was even going to get into doing AI consulting because it's fun, coding and all that is fun. But uh, people don't know what AI is. And that's not a good thing because it's going to end up being just like crypto, where people are going to think that this self-controlling machine thing is possible. And somebody still got to press the fucking button to turn the bitch on. So no, there will never be a sentient machine that fucking lives and breathes to fucking kill you while it takes shit. Like this is the dumbest shit ever. Watch less TV and go fucking learn something. Seriously. Because the future is not for those motherfuckers that are dumb and don't know. It's really not. And that's all that AI has really made clear is that 2020 is just a starting point. This race to your end or this race to you putting yourself in a never ending fucked up position, that is what it's all about. That's why everything is gig economy this, gig economy that. They want to act like renting a job is a good thing instead of having an actual job, right? Which isn't even a good thing in the first place because, again, you're working for somebody else, not even working for yourself. So there's so many levels of games being played here that the average person really has no chance. They just don't. And in all honesty, I thought people were smarter than they are, but they're not. Because after a certain point, people just stop trying and participating in life. And this is what happens. They become NPCs, and the NPCs just going with the flow. They're just humanoid robots that are ultimately going to die, have families, do all the things, but they are no soul. They have no capacity to think, make decisions, or anything. They're just there going with the flow. This is the 99% of people. Then within that small 1%, there are those that are awake, and then those that are at the top. And those that make their way to the top by being the pieces of shit that they are. And we see them on TV every day, right? Some of them are not even real people. Some of them are replaced by clones. So this scam can run deep because nobody's looking past the surface. That's honestly the best way to put it. And, just like in crypto, right? I mean, I saw a tweet earlier today, maybe it was yesterday, but long story short is what a lot of people say in regards to crypto, and it doesn't matter, but it's what people say. And what they say is that until the UX, the user experience, is like everything else where people don't have to know anything, this is not going to take off. And yeah, that's definitely true because people love to be ignorant. People love to not know. People love to pretend to know. I saw it in real time. In 2021, I saw 300 motherfuckers pretend in Las Vegas. Shit's crazy. I'm never going to forget that. Never, ever going to forget it. 300 motherfuckers pretending they was about crypto, and the whole time they was just about making some fiat. Shit ain't even worth what it was then today. So again, people are going to fucking learn these lessons the hard way. I tried to give it to them easy. People like to learn things the hard way. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Well, the only thing you can do is, like I said earlier, educate yourself, prepare yourself, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but the U.S. bombed a country that, well, I'm sure we'll get there. Let's keep reading. Political claims that the far right has stolen Christmas. If you're not tired of the incessant back and forth with the commies, because they're all commies, it doesn't matter if they're red or blue. And if you haven't figured it out by now, let me tell you, every person in politics and entertainment that is famous, a household name, something or another, and supports any of the fuckery is a communist. Doesn't matter what you see them in. Doesn't matter if it's The Rock. Doesn't matter if it's fucking Drake. It doesn't matter, man. They're all subject to the machine and they are collateral damage. Simple as that. They're your enemy. They're not your fucking friend. All these motherfuckers are being used to set your dumb ass up to just abiding to the rules because they set the trends. Well, they don't even set trends. They do as they're fucking told. And those things become trends. This is why they use those faggots against your kids and against the youth to get them to do dumb shit like get the death jab. Right? So all these things matter. Social media, what you use with the information, what information you consume, the level of significance you give it. I mean, you got to know everything is a scam. from the courts on down. Because that is how everything is what it is today, where women get to just slaughter men and they didn't even do anything. They're just fucking there trying to fucking hang with their kids and shit. But that is not even allowed. We live in a society where evil runs rampant and rules the day. And all the supposed good people are okay with it. Because when people like me pointed out, it's a problem. Stop complaining. That's just the way it is. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. Well, we're going to see how the fuck it is here real shortly with your bitch asses when they start dropping bombs in your motherfucking block. See how the fuck you like it, because it's coming. Oh, it's coming. You know why? Because you got better shit to do, like fucking watch TV and shit like that. While silver and fucking gold go parabolic, and your dumb ass don't got a fucking clue what's happening. Because you just on watching TV, going to work, doing what you regularly do. Because you lulled into the trap. California self-destruction accelerate as anti-Trump union pushes weather tax and more billionaires plot exit. California is an interesting case, right? Because it's being systematically destroyed, and what do people do? They just run elsewhere, expecting the same quality of politics, the same social ramifications, the same this and that, no matter where they go, knowing full and well the rest of the world don't give a flying fuck about anything California has going on. So, in many ways, it's a way to export the California trash, i.e., the people, into other societies, other communities that don't want anything to do with California, don't want anything to do with the policies, the procedures, the mentalities, none of that. It's a perfect way to export that level of criminalistic thought. Because guess what? All those middle income motherfuckers, they're not going to Texas to do Texas things. They're no different than them motherfucking Muslim motherfuckers that come here and never take their fucking crap off, acting like they're here for freedom when only a dumb motherfucker believes that. And I don't give a fuck where they live at. I'm up in here in the hood and they out here and I'm watching all them motherfuckers too. I don't give a fuck. I wish them motherfuckers would talk about some Sharia shit. They gonna learn real quick that deen ain't about nothing. Cause this is the hood. This ain't suburbia. So we waiting. Please hurry. Cause we bored. Cops is no longer fun. We're bored. And for those that don't know, Jews and Muslims are no different. Anybody that espouses any radicalism, anything that is in the form of do it or die, it's the Jewish shit. It's always the same motherfuckers behind it. Because they're the only ones that benefit from any of what's going on. Not a secret. It is obvious. If you're looking, you can see. The question is, do you want to? And the answer for most is they don't. They don't want to. They rather pretend that other men dictate their actions and that we cannot hold other men accountable. However, in the same vein, they espouse that we must abide by the system when the system does not abide by us. It doesn't work. Shut the fuck up. The time for complying and abiding with criminals is long gone. It's over. And what do I mean? Well, we're going to get to it. Trump's highway enforcement lays groundwork for U.S. trucking revival. Front companies bombshell report exposes network of Somali-linked empty daycares across Minnesota. I mean, this is a common scam, so whatever. I mean, again, if you live in this world and you open your fucking eyes, you already know this is not just happening in fucking Minnesota. This is happening everywhere. Because who the fuck is paying $2,000 a week, a month, or whatever? Get the fuck out of here. rearmament without strategy while you're at risk of a bleak year in 2026. I don't have anything positive to say about anything in Europe. So I'll just keep moving. Not the people, nothing. Like nothing. Zelensky's best friend, blah, 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 blah. Let's keep reading here. Female British Reverend insists Mary, not Jesus, is the main character of Christmas. So let's talk about that for a little second. For those of you that don't know, Christmas isn't even what people think it is, right? It's a pagan, satanic, ritualistic holiday that people are not supposed to be celebrating in the first place. Now, what's happening is the Stockholm syndrome strategy where they're giving your enemy, or let me rephrase, the enemy is using this endearment you have, this emotional endearment you have for Christmas against you to give you another battle to fight besides a battle that you should be fighting. And this is how they get you left and right, up and down, and you don't even know what the fuck is going on because you think you're getting attacked from all sides when it's just really the same motherfucker attacking you in all the ways you let yourself get emotionally pulled because you don't know enough. And that's what's about to happen to a lot of people. I mean, there's nothing funnier than seeing lefties talking shit, or shall I say commies talking shit about Snoop Dogg, which is a commie himself, right? He's part of their gang, wearing red for Christmas. Talking about talking about Trump's people is co-opting Christmas colors or some shit. Oh man, hold on. No, you can't have one stream without it. Wow, the streets are kind of dead today because it snowed like crazy out here last night. So that fucking siren is like fucking traveling for miles, man. I don't know who the fuck they think they're warning with that shit. But in case y'all haven't figured it out yet, that's another fucking false flag operation to fuck with people while they're sleeping and just awake. Because the level of decibels, the vibration, the frequency of that sound is disturbing. It's disturbing to your brain whether you actually realize it or not. And this is scientifically confirmed. Fuck out of here. And again, it's like all these things that we just allow to happen. Who the fuck said they gotta happen? Who the fuck said they make sense? And the fact is when you look at the records, nobody said they gotta happen, and no fucking body said they make sense. So they're just happening because we're fucking letting them happen. And until you, the individual, don't find that fucking shit out right there, you don't get to question nobody about anything that they're fucking saying because you're just a fucking NPC that doesn't know anything and is just going with what everybody else is saying. And you don't actually care about yourself, your family, or your friends. And hey, don't get me wrong, they don't care either because they're siding with you and your dumbassness because that's what's going on. So let's keep going. I don't remember who Gene Hamilton is, but it's related to politics, so we can keep moving. Yeah, yeah, this is funny. Don't travel to lawless Germany, Russia tells citizens. And you know what? Wow, that's funny. I know exactly what he's saying because all he's saying is, unless you're a foreigner, you can't do illegal shit there. And by foreigner, I mean an immigrant that's coming from a Muslim country or other, not a Caucasian Western country, not an Eastern European country, but a country whereby you look different than the natural race of people in that country. I'm wondering when the Europeans are going to wake the fuck up and realize that they're being invaded by fucking Jews using everybody else. I'm just waiting Cause them motherfuckers is the slowest batch of people I've ever seen in my motherfucking life. The shit is crazy. Americans ain't no fucking better. But goddamn, Germany, it's been fucking 20 years. You niggas just letting that shit rock for like it's nothing. I mean, ever since I got to Germany, this shit been going on. And probably since before I got there, while I fucking bullshitting, because I didn't know enough. But I know what I saw while I was there, and that shit was definitely happening in 2002 and 2001 and 2003 and 4 and 5. So I don't know what the fuck is going on out there, but y'all motherfuckers better go buy some man or some shit, because y'all clearly don't got none. I mean, Europe is a fucking lost cause, man. The motherfuckers pretend like they just oblivious to what's going on. It's just crazy. And it directly impacts them day to day. Like all the restrictions that, I mean, they have no economy out there. I mean, unless you buying locally, you ain't buying shit. It's crazy. I mean, one thing they do got on us is that they ain't eating our poison food in most cases. I don't really know how true that is anymore, but I know at one time that was certified. But let's keep moving. Turkey, they're just another pawn on the, they're just another Jew pawn. So we just keep moving. Common sense is back. UK finally scraps non-crime hate incident laws nationwide. So let me explain how these things happen. How do you supposedly put in laws and then repeal them when that actually never happens? Nowhere in any country that exists today do they pass a law and then take it back. That shit doesn't fucking happen. What actually happens is that they don't pass unconstitutional shit like this. They just push the headlines and hope that you abide because you manufacture consent because you're too ignorant to know better. That's the goal and expectation. This is why you're not educated on anything. The hope is that you never choose to educate yourself and that you just let yourself be manipulated. And that works 99% of the time. This is why we have countries where, well, America is a fine example of the moving the moving ticket violation. I mean, that is one of the biggest revenue sources for these criminal cities, bar none. Definitely bigger than even the tolls, just tickets and shit. I mean, the amount of money they rob from people on an annual basis is crazy. And people don't want to fight it. They don't want to go into court. Some people do, but most people are working. They don't got the time. They're living life, right? And that's how they get you. That's how they get you to manufacture consent, give up your rights, and not fight for yourself. You think you're winning by not even participating in the matter, when in fact you're just losing and making it worse for the future of your kids. And the messed up thing is, really, is that it's not even the city level shit that people don't fight for. It's really the big level shit that people don't fight for. People don't really know the law of the land at all. They don't know that the land is conquered. They think they live in America when they don't. They live in occupied land. Americans don't even know that they're American. Americans don't know who they are. I mean, all of this is by design. No white man is American. No Jew is American. So who are the Americans? Well, that leaves pretty much everybody else. So those are the people that actually belong here. And others, but I can't go into that. You got to be really educated on that front. But it ain't the white man and it ain't the Jew. Because white man got Europe. So that's where y'all belong. Y'all don't belong over here. So that's a big misnomer that nobody's talking about. But then who does belong over here? Well, I'll tell you one thing. That's a fact. The people that do belong here don't even know that they belong here because they think that they're from somewhere else. Yeah, another one of those faggots drove by. Excuse me. So yeah, The level of fuckery, of mental fuckery that's going on cannot be explained. It can only be explained and showed and then allow the individual to process the information because it's crazy. The level of lies, the layer of lies is insurmountable to most. They cannot fathom that a group of individuals would do all this. Why? Well, they're going to find out here soon because CBDCs are on deck. They're on the way to the nearest hood near you because the most ignorant motherfuckers are going to be the most well to do motherfuckers, and they're going to be the first motherfuckers to accept it and open their arms to it and hug it and say, "We love you, CBDC, for making our life conveniently easy." And that's when the real fun begins. That's when you can't use money out of a certain radius. You can't use money to buy this. You can't use money for that. You can't use money for this. You can't use money for that. Oh, you just wait and see. It's going to be so fucking epic. And I can't wait for all the online complaining that's going to affect their credit, their social credit scores negatively. I mean, the first wave is just going to be a slaughter because nobody's paying attention to their enemy. They're just letting their enemy do whatever they want because it's cool. Nothing to see here. Let's keep reading. The real story, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. 9 signs that leaders all over the globe have come down with a really bad case of war fever. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but this probably might be the article to click on. Let's see what we get from this one. Yeah, we got Venezuela on this one. Right. This is the intended main target. But let's see if we got the new target going on up in here. Remember, we don't care about Russia, Ukraine. That's old fucking news, right? Let's move the fuck on. We already know Israel is just being a Syria, whoever the fuck else I'm forgetting. I mean, they just get to do whatever they want. I think Pakistan is the latest target. And now they've moved into giving or establishing some fucking piece of land in Somalia. I mean, it's just really this simple. If the good guys don't decide to put on some motherfucking balls, the lawlessness will continue. And the lawlessness is being perpetrated in the form of lawfulness. And this is why so many people are dying at such rates that you're not even hearing about it. I mean, most people don't even know that the latest generation of 18 to 25-year-olds, the third of them are dead already. Did you know that? I'm going to guess, and I'm talking about Americans. I'm guessing people don't know that. So I don't really see people talking about that. Yeah, I didn't think it was in here. So they're just talking about Venezuela. They're definitely going to go attack Venezuela. But yesterday they dropped bomb on Nigeria. So and I'm talking about America. There is no precedent for that action whatsoever. So that's something for people to really take in and think about. I'm really trying to find a headline on that though. 18 hours. Let's see here. Give me a second, guys. This is California. I mean, I just got to get into this for just 1 second because and this is what I was talking about earlier with this fake exodus from California. And I call it fake because all they're really trying to do is, like I said before, they're trying to export their policies to other states because they can't implement them. So what's the second best way to get them implemented? By kicking out the riffraff that will side with this bullshit But because they can't afford to live in California anymore, or are losing their homes, or whatever the fuck have you, because of natural disasters or manipulated disasters or what have you, right? They end up in other states. And they come with their bad fucking habits, right? And I highly, highly advise people to whip these motherfuckers' asses back to where they came from once they start talking that shit. Don't let them fucking have it. Don't be fucking nice. Californians, in my experience, are some of the fakest motherfuckers I've ever met. And I'm not talking about the hood people. So you do with that what you will. All right, now this is the greatest false flag operation they have going on right now. Is this idea that they're getting all these food processors to make real food out of all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they're just ready to say fuck their profits. We're going to make some real food for the people finally. After 20, 30 years of not doing that, they're just going to start doing it. All right, Mr. Kennedy Jr., whatever the fuck your name is. I believe you, dude. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. Uh-huh. So let's talk about this. Because a lot of people like to pretend to know what the fuck is up with real estate, but I'm here to tell you they don't know shit. Anybody that professes to be a real estate expert, man, they're fucking not. They're fucking not. They might be able to close deals or whatever, but they don't fucking know shit about real estate. Making money from it don't mean you know anything about it. That's a fact. Because that is not the way the United States works. Blackstone's Live Corp settles DOJ's alleged rental price fixing claims. Now, we all know Blackstone's a part of the fucking controllers, right? The controlling group of people in the world. So if they're paying a fine, what does that mean exactly? All that means is that the scam was so obvious, so apparent, that they couldn't not fine them and continue the scam. That's all that means, just in case people were not aware. Let's keep going here. Here we go. Now, I've said this many times before, but it bears saying again. When I first joined the military, and I had come back from Iraq and was stationed stateside for the first time. One of the first things I ever saw, and this was in Fort Benning, Georgia, mind you, home of the infantry. First thing I saw that I'm never going to forget is a poster letting all service members know, and this is in 2005, that anybody could be a terrorist. You, me, the white guy next door, the white guy in Tribeca, anybody, literally anybody. The black guy on the corner selling crack, anybody. Anybody could be a terrorist according to this fucking ad. Now, this is after I had done a tour already in Iraq. And I knew what it was. I knew what time it was already. I knew something was wrong with that ad. Didn't make sense. Now, what I didn't know was enough to connect all the dots I can easily explain today with facts. Because here is a classic example of exactly what I'm talking about how people are lulled to sleep in their comfort, thinking that nothing like this could ever happen here, when in fact, it will happen here. And it'll happen in such a way that it'll be treated like 9/11 and you will be fucked further. You know why? Because you didn't do anything about 9/11. You just let motherfuckers take over. All the adults of that era just let it happen. They didn't do anything. There was no pushback, no fight back, no nothing. Just people dying because they knew too much and nobody standing up for them. Nobody even talks about the 9/11 survivors anymore. They were the biggest fucking crutch that the media had for fucking years. At least 15 years. Now I don't even talk about them anymore. Useless. Because they can't lean on a 20-year-old story, right? So let's read this a little bit. Hours after the U.S. Christmas Day strikes on ISIS linked targets in Nigeria. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are new to this war on terror thing, but there's never been no terror coming out of Nigeria or that part of Africa in general. So, not in this way where Africa or where the US is getting directly involved in bombing shit. Not like that. In this way, no. Covertly, sure. But this is not covert. Covert means unknown. Means your ass don't fucking know they did it. That's what the fuck covert means. This shit here, this shit here was plastered and given to motherfuckers like it was a Christmas Day gift. Like, here, motherfuckers, this is what we did for y'all today. You're welcome. Defending freedom in Nigeria or whatever. Oh man, like what is going on out here, man? So let's read. All right, let's read. Nigerian officials signaled openness to continued military involvement to counter what President Trump called terrorist scum. Oh boy, you know, the day can't come soon enough when these bombs start dropping because I really am looking forward to the day where there's less NPCs in the world. It's gonna be bloody, but hey, man, it's what the cost is gonna be. You know that Georgia Guidestone shit is definitely real business, and I can clearly see how it's gonna happen now. You know, good luck to y'all. Y'all gonna need it. Everybody gonna need it. Cause I mean, these motherfuckers can just do what they want. And nobody gives a shit. I mean, here we are. We all know you know, ABC, XYZ things have happened. You know, I knew about Epstein in the 90s. I don't know why this is breaking news today. I really don't. But what I do know is that nobody cares and everybody pretends to care. So I'm not going to pretend to respect people anymore. And I haven't for a long time, right? But I'm really, really not doing it at all. Like I'm just out here ready to fuck somebody up just because nowadays. Because that's where we're at. You want to keep acting like an ignorant bitch, you do that. It's going to be consequences though. Because that's the world we're in now. A world where you pick that dab jab, you ain't going to be around. And if you are around, it's going to be a miserable, costly existence. Because this is the type of shit that's just going to continue to spread like wildfire. The new campaign follows attacks in which radical Islamists killed Christians. I'm going to read that last part again. The new campaign follows attacks in which radical Islamists had killed Christians. So, what about all those Christians that are being killed in Palestine by the Jews? Hmm. It's funny how they fail to mention that in this piece here, isn't it? It's funny how everybody just fails to mention that in general. I don't know if people realize, but Palestine isn't predominantly Muslim. It's a Christian country. I mean, we can't look it up nowadays because whatever you find is going to be fake and manipulated. So, but Palestine, this whole notion of Islam and all this shit, that shit is new. That shit is new. A lot of the things you know to be old are not. They're fucking new, right? And that's a function of people's ability to learn, right? Why do all these places keep getting name changes, right? Like Myanmar. Is it Myanmar? I don't remember anymore. Is it Myanmar is the new name? Yeah, what's the old name of Myanmar? Burma. That's right. Yeah. So, you got to look into why the names of places change over time. The people don't change. Nothing in that area changes, but yet the names of places do. Mumbai used to be called Bombay. I mean, these are all things that happen every day, and we just bat an eye. But it's all part of the big scam. It's all part of why your life sucks. Because if you don't accept all things to be lies, but you accept one thing to be a lie, then that means you accept some lies as truths, even though you know some lies are lies. Now you tell me where the logic is in that shit, because there ain't none. Because all that means is that you're saying it's okay if these people lie to me because these people are in charge. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't even know what the fuck that means because I don't accept that shit by any means. Period. Especially not from a motherfucker that's in charge. I've been in charge. You don't get to lie to motherfuckers when you're in charge. Only in politics is that shit allowed. So that's why that shit is fake. So here we are. I believe this is an ongoing thing, and we're working with the US. Now, how are you, a citizen of your country, and you don't know, you believe it's a new phase of an old conflict? I mean, they tell you in your face what they're doing. While the Pentagon has not formally announced additional operations in Nigeria, Defense Secretary Homo wrote on X earlier today that there was more to come. I mean, imagine we live in a world where official statements are thrown out in 140 characters or less. And people accept that from an administration that's supposed to be there to administer. I mean, these politicians are not supposed to be there to bully, antagonize, murder, kill, cheat, steal, yet we allow them to continuously get away with these things. Why? I would love an answer to that. But nobody has one because everybody's too busy fucking pretending that they're living a good life. Well, I'm happy to say that that shit ain't gonna fucking last much longer. So, you motherfuckers enjoy whatever little, comfort you have now because you're not fighting for it to stick around. So it's not gonna be around. That's a fact, not an opinion. Because you're okay with being ruled by pedophiles and fucking homos. Everybody's okay with that because it's common knowledge that all these people that are in charge are pedophiles and homos, but nobody bats an eye at what is actually going on. We know people are blackmailed. We know people are manipulated. We know all these things. Yet we're okay with the system continuing as is for some fucking reason when we're not even outnumbered. I mean, there's not enough ammo to wipe out the human race. So I can't for the life of me understand what's going on anywhere. You as an individual need to be prepared for war because it's coming, whether you like it or not. It's been called on you and you don't even know it because that is exactly what has just happened with the implementation of fake crypto in a society. I hope you guys have had fun chasing fake money because that's all you're going to get for the rest of your life. You're never going to own anything. And if you own anything now, it's going to be taken from you here in short notice because you allow that mode of society to take hold. When everything is rentable, nothing is ownable. And everyone is okay with everything being rentable. So 1 plus 1 is 2. You're going to eventually lose whatever you got. In the United States, I don't know of a single person that pays property taxes that hasn't seen it go up 50% or more in the United States, land of the free. Oh, man. And I'm very cynical because how can I not be? I grew up in a place where men pretend to be men, women pretend to be women, psychos pretend that if they're men, that they're women, and if they're women, that they're men. And then on top of that, everybody thinks they gotta wear their sexual fucking preferences on their goddamn sleeves like a bunch of fucking weirdos. And this is called society, a normal society. People call that a normal society. Well, got some news for you, but you're gonna wish you never did. Let's see. What else is left here? Aha, yes. Yes, New York is being destroyed as well, just like London was. Um, let's see.
Lillian Bon- Lillian Bonsignor is a career first responder. In just 9 days, she'll be running the world's busiest fire department, one of the most important appointments of the incoming administration.
And they deserve.
Lillian Bonsignor is a career first responder. In just 9 days, she'll be running the world's busiest fire department, one of the most important appointments of the incoming administration.
And they deserve a leader who cares about their work because she did it herself, who understands every detail, and who will fight tirelessly to empower FDNY and make it the best firefighting force in the world.
Lillian Bonsignor began her career as an EMT in 1991 and was ultimately promoted to chief of the city's EMS division, where she served for 3 years before retiring in 2022.
All right, enough of that shit. So, like I was saying, doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter what you do. The system is there to work against you. And if you're not ready to defend yourself against that invasion of your existence, of your inner peace, of your family's future, then you have not only failed yourself, you have failed your family, you have failed your future heirs, you have failed your legacy, you have failed humanity. And sadly, that's where we're at. There is no two ways about it. I think the difference between California and New York, because I see that comment about the coast, is that the people in New York are from like California and other places. They're not New Yorkers, whereas the people in California are Californians. That's the biggest difference that people continuously discount. New Yorkers don't make up the policies in New York. Outsiders do, including the Jews, because they're not fucking New Yorkers, they're fucking outsiders. But they run everything because everybody kowtows to that fucking fake ass story, which is pretty fucking fake. But whatever. This is where we're at. It doesn't matter where you go. Now everything is a casino. And I think we talked about this a while back, how this was going to happen. And here we are. The entire world has been commoditized, and people pretend like if that's some type of evolution. I mean, holy fuck. That's exactly what brought the world down to its knees in 2008. Yo, it's not even 2028 yet. We're right back where we started. I mean, I haven't even gone to the fucking retarded headlines yet over here. Because these are all mostly fucking crypto headlines. Oh, man, this is crazy. All right, what were we, 26? That's yesterday. That's good enough. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else worth talking about here. Nope. Well, the world is moving towards abusing humans with AI. I've talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it a little bit again. I highly recommend that you as an individual do the work to know AI and not have anybody else tell you what the fuck is supposed to be. Because I'm telling you now, your life will be controlled by it if you're not fucking careful. Because that is the goal. Whether it happens or not is another thing. But that's the fucking goal. CBDC is already here. The hold on. I know you guys don't know about this because y'all don't follow no real motherfuckers. So let me put y'all on real quick. Has anybody in the chat heard of X402? Put a yes or no in the chat if you have. If not, this is how we're going to end the stream. Because this is how CBDCs are going to take over. This is how you are going to lose your job. This is how they're going to remove the human element from the economy right here. So if you don't know what X402 is, you better stop fucking around and take what I've been saying for the past 5 years seriously because it's fucking time. Your time is fucking run out. Let me put y'all on, man. Since y'all keep following all these goddamn clowns, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing on the internet. But I suggest you stop wasting time on it because I'm not going to be streaming forever. X402 is an open payment protocol that utilizes the HTTP 402 payment required status code to enable instant blockchain based payments for web resources and APIs. It allows clients to pay for services directly through HTTP requests, eliminating the need for traditional payment methods and account management, making micropayments, this is the important word, feasible and efficient. Now, what's a micropayment? Micropayment is something that's like in cents, like 15 cents, 50 cents, stuff like that. When you charging 3% fee just in general and fucking or a base a fixed rate of on the transaction and all these things, it makes a small cost transaction inefficient to process. So that's been the biggest backlog, or shall I say the biggest blocker with respect to getting humans out of the way with respect to the economy. Because every transaction that's going to occur in cyberspace is not going to be $100 million, right? Some transactions will be the size of a cent. Some transactions will be trillions of dollars. But the whole point is getting your ass out the way because you don't even fucking care anyway. I mean, you guys got to realize the stake of a normie in a corporation is zero because it's been removed from the norm. It's not expected for you, the normie, to want to have any stake of claim in any corporation. And that whole notion of a pension and all that shit has been long gone for at least a generation or two, right? So this is the perfect time. Perfect time. Timing is everything. This is the perfect time to start up this protocol. Now, some people might see this as a positive, but I'm here to tell you if you're not able to code and get yourself in here and make money, you ain't going to benefit in any motherfucking way, period. It's not for you. You're never going to get a HTTP 402 payment required status code in your brain, are you? I mean, let me not speak too soon. Because some of y'all motherfuckers probably ready to become one of Elon's robots like the retards y'all are. Who knows? Because somebody out there think that robot shit makes sense. I'm here to tell you, nothing anybody is promoting in the mainstream is for your benefit. And if you don't know what's going on in the world, seems like a lot of y'all don't, I suggest you get in tune because it's coming and you're not even going to know it's there. And this is just a small piece of that incoming puzzle that nobody is ready for or even cares to be on the lookout for. And it's going to be the thing that takes our society in a major way and devolves it even further than it already is devolved. I mean, imagine the ability of being able to charge millions of people millions of cents every day. Because people are going to be there, ready, willing, and hopefully thinking that they're able to pay. But then what's going to happen is their social credit score isn't going to be up to snuff for them to play the games that they want to play, and they're not going to be able to. I mean, if you're a part of the gaming economy, you already are seeing a small glimpse of what the future is going to be. I mean, if you're not in tune, then get in tune because that's a perfect place to go see what the future looks like today, right now. If you think I'm fucking full of shit, go look at the economy. Y'all motherfuckers don't stand a chance. If you don't know how to code, you do not stand a chance in the future. If you don't know how to use AI, you do not stand a chance in the future because the powers that be are going to use those things against you to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind, just like they do with entertainment and shit like that today. Sports, drugs, and entertainment, basically. So that's all I got, guys. I mean, all I got is bad news. I don't got anything positive to share, unfortunately, because everybody's making the wrong decisions. So all we need is cash And then on top of that, all we need is real cash. But nobody wants either. Everybody wants to be living in some false lap of luxury that doesn't exist, I guess. I really don't know what else to call it because I don't see anything else. This world that we live in is what we make it. And we are choosing not to make it anything. We're choosing to let a group of fucking pedophiles and homos dictate what it's going to be. That's what society is doing. I'm not with that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not with the system, so I don't participate in it in any which way. I do what I gotta do to sustain myself and live and educate those that might want the same. But you need to understand the future is here. It's over. Whatever you thought was happening ain't happening. Peace.